I mean, for crying out loud, they trample over each other for laptops on Black Friday like animals. Wait until you see what happens when finally there comes that judgment day when people are not prepared, and this isn't fear-mongering, folks, and they're rushing and knocking on your door and hoarding and looting the stores.
Oh, well, I saw it
Exactly.
firsthand. I was right there in the middle of Hurricane Ike. And it was only small parts of Houston which were out of gas. But those parts, the people were going nuts. It was insane. It was like, wait a minute, did we forget that we're all human beings here? That's what's going to happen. Everybody's
price gouging comes up. You know, they're charging $300 a bottle for iodine.
Yeah,
on the internet.
we were lucky enough to find a bottle of iodoral, which is the actual it's like the medical grade potassium iodide. So we're okay in that regard. But I was going to bring up with you, Bob, the notion of the trivium being used to assess the situation going on over in Japan. Because if you look at it, all of the news is saying, trust your government, trust what we're saying, trust us. We know what we're talking about. There's nothing happening. You know, go back to sleep. It's okay. And if that's an appeal to authority, it's and then they said they didn't argue with any numbers whenever they said, oh, don't buy potassium iodide, don't take care of yourself, don't make sure you're okay when this happens. They didn't say anything about there not being a radiation plume headed right this way. They didn't say anything to counteract that. So that means that, yes, it must be true, but don't protect yourself, which is just insane.
Right, double speech.
If I can borrow a quote from 2012, when the government tells you not to panic, that's when you panic.
Yeah, it's that double speech that we've come aware of, and using the trivium, you can decipher what's accurate and what information we should consider, and you should consider all of this with an open mind. But don't stop there. Don't allow them to program you with the thoughts. Keep an open mind. Understand the fallacies when they come up, and with those tools of understanding, you really will start to see through a lot of this stuff and be able to, decipher whether or not you should stock up or what you should do and not panic. The trivium will give you the confidence to really address any issue, and it's important that people keep a level head and use the skills of logic and rhetoric and grammar. All these things are essential. We're doing a lot of programs on the trivium lately. I know Max Egan's involved with the trivium, and Max, from what I understand, it's a small world, but through Jan's work from Gnostic Media Podcast and Tragedy and Hope, I guess your sister or somebody came across it, and now you're totally on board with the trivium, and this stuff is really starting to catch like wildfire, because I think people need these tools now more than ever so that they can't be accused of being fearmongers or conspiracy theorists or whatever.
Well, it's understanding that trivium is what's used by politicians all the time. They speak in logical fallacies all the time. Recently, for example, there was an interview with the Australian Prime Minister, and it was a Q&A on a local TV show, and who should come on in a video question but Julian Assange, to ask her whether she should not be held guilty for treason for some of the things that she's done. And her answer to that was that her Australian accent is so strong that there should be no question that she belongs to any other country. That was her accent. This is the equivalent of saying that Einstein could have been called a Nazi because he had a German accent, So it's complete logical fallacy, completely avoided the question. But getting back to the nuclear situation, you're never going to get good information from any media source. You're going to get probably good information from somewhere. It'll sneak out somehow, but then it'll get embellished by all these other news sites and all this stuff, and you're never really going to be able to figure out what's going on with this whole situation in Japan. And the only way you can really figure out what's going on is to simply look at the situation, examine the video footage. You've got two reactors here. The roofs have blown sky high. This is not a good sign, folks. This is not the normal running of a nuclear reactor. This is not normal, okay? You look at this and you think, well, this is a nuclear reactor. You look at the nature of uranium. You stack this stuff up in a corner and it melts down to oblivion, and you get the China syndrome if you leave it alone. Why would they even make this stuff? So this is the situation here. And now they're pumping seawater, raw seawater, just pumping it in there. They're using water cannons to shoot seawater into these reactors. This is not going through cooling pipes around the uranium to keep it cool. They're simply trying to douse this stuff in water, which is just producing more hydrogen because of the zirconium. And it's a complete mess. It's a disaster, and it's completely out of control. Because if it wasn't out of control, we wouldn't be seeing this way of dealing with it. We wouldn't be seeing raw seawater pumped onto these places. You know, there's just been a major tsunami and a major earthquake through here, and we've got all these reactors that are just getting hit with water cannon from the ocean. This is not normal, folks.
I heard now that they're basically using a very, very long extension cord to power the entire nuclear plant that they're trying to put out.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's completely out of control. So regardless of what the media is telling you, just look at the actions of these people. I mean, this is not how you cool down a nuclear reactor. This is a nuclear reactor. This is very serious stuff. It's running fuel such as plutonium, which, as you say, is far more deadly than uranium, far more dangerous than uranium. So this is a very serious situation, and it is not under control in even the most minor way, shape, or form. That's simply by looking at the actions logically of these people, regardless of all of the news reports. That's just simply from watching the video footage of what's going on there. So that's the way people need to look at it. It's a very serious situation, and you're not going to get the truth from the media. They're going to downplay everything. They always do. And if the truth does get out, then they'll get someone in there to embellish it to the extreme so that it's completely unbelievable, and so that no one believes the truth. They always tend to do this. If the truth ever gets out, they embellish it with as much fantasy as possible. So just look at what's going on, folks, and realize that this is happening, and it is going to get into the jet stream. It is going to affect local industry. It's going to affect global economy. It's going to affect everything. This is a real situation, and it's happening. So you need to just take precautions in yourself. But above everything, stay in the right energy through it all. Realize this is happening. If we haven't taken these opportunities to fix the corruption that's running our world, we keep not taking the opportunities that this system provides for us to take. So, okay, the universe will say, okay, well, you're not jumping up to the plate yet, so here's another opportunity. You're going to take this one, because they're getting worse all the time. So I think we need to see it as an opportunity. It's a very bad situation, certainly, but it's also an opportunity for the human race to wake up to itself and change the management.
Absolutely. Bob Tuskin, can you plug your website, show, etc.? I know you've got to take off.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. I'm the host along with Shepard and Bellis, who might be making an appearance here eventually on the broadcast tonight, at the Intel Hub Radio Show. The Intel Hub Radio Show broadcasts 6 days a week on Oracle Broadcasting, along with Truth Frequency and other great programs. And the website, theintelhubradio.com and theintelhub.com. And I will see you throughout this breaking news with all sorts of updates on our YouTube channel at Not For Sale, the number 2 NWO. We have hundreds of thousands of hits coming in to this story, and it makes me wonder if this is what it comes down to, if we need some sort of catastrophe, like an earthquake or like something like this, to really get people activated and awake. I fear that, we're going to have to experience something really crazy, and then people will be waking up, but by then it will be too late. It's like the frog in a boiling pot of water. As the water slowly gets to get warmer and warmer, next thing you know, the frog's boiling. And I think incrementally we're moving in that direction. Whether it's 2012, the end of the world, and all that hype, I don't know. But what I can say is that we need to really take a serious look at what we're doing in our communities, with our gardens and our food and our preparedness. And we need to buckle our seatbelts and get ready for a paradigm shift. And I'll end with one last statement, one love. And thanks so much for all you guys are doing.
Very well said.
You,
Bob Tuskin, theintelhub.com. Of course, we're speaking with Max Igan, thecrowhouse.com, Christopher Everard, enigmatv.com. And we're going to take one more quick break and then a final segment. We'll see you on the other side.
faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere.
Tell me what the fuck is wrong with the world today? Shallow-hearted, simple-minded, self-centered and gray, separated by the classes, fashions and races. Hoping Mary Kay can hide their ugly faces. $1,000 suits won't fill your empty soul. Wanna be the big fish in a little fish bowl. Here we go, here's some truth. Take it to the grave. The tie around your neck is a leash for a slave. I gave and I gave. I tried to save the world. I was met with grown men laughing like little girls. Now they're scared on their knees. I already said it. Bin Laden, CIA, but they quickly forget, or they hardly believe it. Even if they see it, you think September was bad? Shit, wait till they repeat it. Panic in the streets from a global recession. Thinning out the hurt with suicide and depression.
Their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow.
Hide your head in the sand, drown yourself in sorrow. Not a fight in your soul, no hope for tomorrow. You're helpless and weak, a puppet to the puppets. Hopeless and meek, you will break to say fuck. If they send your sons and daughters to die for their greed, foreclose on your home, you're living in the street. You starve, they feast, the dollar gets weaker. Listen to the words coming out of your speakers. They don't care about oil, they don't care about money. It's all about power and control of your family. Time to wake up and rally while we still have the chance. A single tear down my cheek gets me through the last stand, 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 last stand.
Find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Find it hard to tell you, find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad.
There's just enough bullshit to hold things together in this country. Enough bullshit as it is. In fact, there's just enough. Did you know that? Bullshit is the glue that binds us as a nation. Where would we be without our safe, familiar American bullshit? Land is free, home to the brave, the American dream. All men are equal, justice is blind, the press is free, your vote counts. Business is honest, the good guys win. The police are on your side. God is watching you. Your standard of living will never decline. And everything is going to be just fine. The official national bullshit story.
And welcome back to Truth Frequency here on Polygraph Radio. Special thanks to Polygraph Radio for hosting the broadcast last minute like this, and thank you to everybody tuning in. I mean, the numbers are fantastic considering we put this show together 12 hours ago, or 14 hours ago now. Archive will be available for free download, of course, 128K, 64K, and 16K on our website, truthfrequencyradio.com. And, of course, our great guests, Max Igan, thecrowhouse.com, and Christopher Everard, enigmatv.com. And Max, where do you see the world heading in the direction that we're going now? I mean, is there even any way to get out of this situation, or do we just have to ride it out completely?